Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome, Pathway to Purpose. We are absolutely, positively, we're back, y'all. We're back. How are y'all doing? Listen, I have an amazing guest in just a few seconds. Y'all about to find out why she's here once again. Welcome, 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 guys. You are here on this amazing Thursday, Pathway to Purpose, with me, your host, Cynthia Robinson. I have an amazing guest. I have a great surprise for you all on tonight. Listen here. So, this amazing woman here, she is my friend. She is my sister. She is my encourager. She is my counselor. She is my spiritual motivator. She supports my business. She is a client. Listen, y'all, she's been down in the deep with me. Before even before my Zemphlescape manifested, she was there supporting me when it was just massaged by Cynthia. So you guys, welcome, welcome. Listen, this woman. Let me just read a little bit of excerpts of who she is before I let her come on in the room. Um, she is a native of South Carolina. She is a 1994 graduate of South Carolina State University, where she obtained her Bachelor's of Science degree in psychology, and a 2006 graduate of Webster University, where she graduated cum laude with a master's degree in counseling with an emphasis in mental health. Sandra is the proud daughter of Ethel Gamble and the late Johnny Gamble. She is a certified transformation coach, where she works with women to help them address unresolved childhood trauma, challenge their limited belief, and improve self esteem so they can win in life. She is also a certified creating champion, conversations, public speaking, and author of the best selling book, To Hell and Back: The Power of Forgiveness and Redemption, and also the book Good Grief. Welcome, Sandra Gamble.
Yay! Super excited to be here.
Yes, yes. So, why are we here tonight, young lady? Because I said something about two books, but
We are here on tonight because I have birthed, yes, my third book, Give Up to Glow. And I promise you, I promise you, we are about to glow up in 2023 and beyond. I promise you.
awesome. Hey, Miss Karen, welcome. We're about to glow up. Listen, this book, and let me tell you about my friend. She is a hope dealer. She calls herself the hope dealer. That's what she is. She deals hope. And I've supported her with each one of her books. And I read the first two, and it just absolutely amazing. And with this one, I didn't jump right on it like the others. I just didn't. And when I tried to read it, something kept happening. I got busy, or I got to add on my lunch hour, or a client came in early. It was just always something that was getting in between me and this book. And my friend would say, finish the book, finish the book. I'm like, how she know? How does she know I have not finished it yet? I need to finish this book, because every time my friend sees me and talks to me, she gonna say, finish the book. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know now why she told me to finish the book, y'all. So today she came and delivered another book, because my great girlfriend that lives in Columbia purchased the book, and we support her. We pay full price just because we sisters and friends, honey. We support because she can't eat air, so and she can't make more books with air. So she delivered the book, and I said, I need you on the podcast. She said, finish the book, and I'll get on tonight. I was like, okay. So I came home. Yeah, I know why the enemy tried to stop me. I cried through every almost. It was an intermission of crying through every chapter. It was an epiphany and an awakening and a blessing, y'all. When I tell you this book blessed my whole soul, like I don't really want to go anywhere without the book, not to per se share it with people to let them read it because they have to purchase their own. But for me to keep going back and referring to what touched me and what quickened me and what awakened me. So, what I want you to start on today, my sister, is explaining to the good people why you wrote this book and why, how did this birthing of this book, Give Up to Glow, came about.
Okay, sure. So everything is God inspired. And actually, I was in the middle of writing another book,
Mm,
and I could hear the Holy Spirit said, "You need to pivot." That people have gotten stuck, they've gotten complacent, and they're too focused on watching other people's lives, and they need to do some introspection and evaluate what they're doing with the time that they still have left.
mm,
And so in the middle of one book, I pivoted and I wrote Give Up to Glow. And God specifically gave me areas where I've had to give up to glow, to put in the book. Six steps that I've utilized my own self in order to glow up.
right. Awesome. That's amazing. You're in the middle of writing one book, and God said, wait a minute. I need you to write this here right now." Wow.
Yes, yes.
Listen, that's called immediate obedience. Like, yeah, no questions asked.
Yes,
I
yes.
I'm not, listen, y'all. I know y'all would probably listen. You have to get the book, but what I am going to do, there were sentences, phrases, little snippets. I mean, just a church, like my grandma used to say, just a church of what inspired me. And the in beginning chapter one, like I said, I started reading it and I had got all the way through chapter one, but time was different. And the one thing that really hit me was you owe it to yourself to save yourself. Whew. Expand on that, please, ma'am.
A lot of times, so many things happen to us on this journey called life. We have
Mhm.
been disappointed. We have been mistreated. We have been mishandled. And sometimes we've done the mishandling, okay? And
Yeah.
so a lot of times we walk around looking for the apology or hoping that the person will realize how they have wronged us and come back and say, I'm sorry. And I'm simply saying that you owe it to yourself to heal
Mm.
because nobody's coming to save you. You
Oh,
have
wow.
to save you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to save you. I love it. And I love when you said, um, sometimes it's us. Sometimes it's us that gets us in the situations, right? We thinking it's always people. No, sometimes it's not always people. Sometimes our own choices have us in a bed of quicksand, and we're looking around trying to blame somebody else, but we're the only ones standing and sinking in quicksand. So I love that. I loved it. And that's coming from chapter one. And that really stood out to me. It was like, girl, listen. You owe it to yourself to save yourself. The book itself has I just love how even it has 6 chapters, by the way. And when you went in and did your chapter summaries and takeaways, girl, I was like, okay, make me go back and rethink what I just read and really dive deep into that thing. What made you do this on the summary and takeaways after each chapter? I love this.
Well, of course, you know I'm a counselor, so
Yeah,
that's the counselor in me. Because we need to go deep. If we want to heal on this journey, we have to get in our trash can, right? And so it's an opportunity for you to go deep, to do some introspection, to not just read over the words, but actually process what's going on in this chapter and how it applies to me.
right. I
Yeah.
love it. I love that. I love that. And that caused me, look, y'all, those little summaries and takeaways made me get my highlighter. It made me get my highlighter and said, this is what stood out to me. This is what stood out to me. This is what stood out to me. And this is what I'm going to go back to, and this is what I'm going to work on. And it really, like, honestly, I sat there and was like, wow, this should be a workbook. This should be a workbook. Like, literally, it should be. It needs to be a workbook because it's like I need to. This pushes you to do your work, and I love the title of chapter 2. Even when you said don't underestimate the beauty of just being you, I was like, don't underestimate the beauty of just being me, like all by myself.
All by
Really,
yourself. All by
all by
yourself,
myself.
sweetie. Yeah. Can I speak to that for a moment? We live in
Please, please,
we live in
please.
a digital world.
Hmm.
We live in the Instagram and the Facebook and the fake book as well. Okay.
Yeah,
And so we're always comparing. We're always comparing. Even as adults, we're comparing our lives to somebody else's life. And we see people highlights, but we don't see that's not their reality all the time, because they don't show you the lows. And so
right,
if you're not careful, you'll be celebrating everybody else, and you will
mm,
be cheering for everybody else, and you will forget to cheer for you. You will
right,
forget to appreciate that the creator created you to create.
wow, wow.
And the more healed we are, the less we're concerned about what somebody else is doing. I'm not looking around. I'm simply looking up.
Mm, I love that. I'm not looking around. I'm looking up. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. And what made me look at chapter 2 so profoundly, the fact of embracing who you are, um, and celebrate yourself, and not dimming down. You know what I'm saying? Not dimming down, not saying I'm not enough. I'm just great how I am, with my freckles in my face. You know what I'm saying? With the rising on the side of my eye. Like, I'm amazingly, fearfully, wonderfully made, beautiful just as I am. And it's even in the growth of me, And this chapter 2 really made me look at the fact that there was a time where I didn't like how I looked. There was a time I didn't like my sandy red, blondish brown hair. There was a time where I was like, why are my eyes so light? Like, oh, why don't I look like this person? Or why is my skin so reddish yellow? Why can't my skin be dark like my pretty dark skinned cousins? You know what I'm saying? Like, it took me back to remembering when I did not value my own beauty, and not just my outer but my inner.
Me
So
too. For many, many years. And again, when you because we get our foundation from our family.
Mm-hmm.
Children are born in this world, tabarosa, and that's a blank slate.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we are formed and shaped based on our experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
if the experience isn't healthy, that's how we see ourselves, and that's how we see the world. And for me, because I grew up in trauma, I grew up believing that I was broken
Hmm.
because my dad said so. And so
Hmm.
the fact that I can sit here all these years later and be okay with who I am and whose I am is a miracle within itself.
Yes.
I love and accept and approve of myself. And
Right.
it took me a long time to get here.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. And the process, I feel it does seem long, and sometimes it is. But when you look back after, the healing is manifested and the self love has accumulated and grown and you know what I'm saying, it has sprouted out, you look
Yes.
at it and you say, okay. You kind of look back and say, okay, I see me now. Hey, I know that's right. I
Yeah.
love it.
And I
I
want to
love
say this as I walked today, I told God, thank you. I said, thank you for loving me when I didn't even love myself.
Oh, wow.
I said, thank you for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself.
Hmm.
And I said, thank you for accepting me even when I didn't accept myself.
Wow. I love it. He's an amazing God.
Yes, yes,
He's an amazing God. Um, Listen, chapter 3, honey, honey, honey. Listen, chapter 3 will make you go back to get to Helen back. Um, the power of forgiveness and redemption, because she has little excerpts in there from that book to kind of try to take you back of the background and the history, what she's been through. So it's like you need all three. You need all three books to really get it. But right in chapter 3, you go to say, never allow anyone to talk you out of your dreams and goals, no matter how old you are. If you have life, you have value, you have purpose, and you have a giant God that will help you accomplish what you desire and what He desires for you. Talk about that.
yes. I think we focus so much on age. And there's a question in the book. I said, how old would you be if you didn't know how old you were?
I like that one.
And
I
I
said,
and I think we use age as an excuse or a justification to not produce.
yeah,
And
yeah,
even in scripture, God said the old man will dream, and the young man will have vision. So that covered everybody, right?
right.
And so when God gives you a vision, He's not checking your birth certificate nor your death certificates. He's checking your faith certificate. Do you believe that I can do this thing in your life?
Wow, wow, wow. He's not checking your birth certificate or your death certificate. He's checking your faith. Wow. I love that. I love
Yes.
that. I love that. And matter of fact, the first time I picked the book up, I read that. And I must have read it to the third chapter because I posted it. I was like, yo, yo. That's why I was telling my girlfriend Erica. I said, Erica, you got to get this book. You got to get this book. That in itself. And on it also, this one right here. Surround yourself with people that fan your flame and stay away from people that dull your fire. Honey, look, I got that highlight. I got this. I don't know if y'all can see it, but I got my highlights. I said, listen, lady.
It is so important to find your community for real, because your community will push you to be better.
Yeah,
They not only see your potential, but they see your capacity.
yeah.
And they're not jealous of it. They're not afraid of it. They're not scared that you're going to outshine them. That's why you got to get in rooms with some healed people.
Say that again, please.
That's why you got to get in some room with some healed people, because they
My, my, my.
because the unhealed will pour water on your fire.
Mm, wow. I love that. I love that. I love that. And I did highlight that he's not checking your birth certificate. I highlighted that one too. That, like I said, that is my favorite one. That is my favorite. I love it. I love that. We absolutely have to watch the company we keep. And we have to hold ourselves accountable for that. I think, and this is a question I want to ask you. Do you feel as though we sometimes hold on to people that no longer serves a purpose in our life because we have unhealed traumas and we're holding on to something that's still toxic, or that's still, you know what I'm saying, or a friendship that we know we shouldn't be friends because we've grown and this person hadn't grown, and we're why do you feel like that happens as a counselor when you see that?
And there's a chapter devoted to people as well. Yeah, well, a couple
Mhm.
of things. Okay, so we can only attract what we are. And so a lot of times for me, let me speak about me, my relationships were trauma bond.
Mm.
I attracted people that had similar experiences.
Mhm.
And so when I went on this journey of healing, and the people that were around me were still stuck, it's like they no longer served me. And if
Mm.
I felt guilty at first, but then I had to say, no, if you're trying to grow and
Mhm.
go and they're still stuck, then you can't do anything with that. You shouldn't feel guilty about wanting to be better.
Right.
I
Right.
believe that we are afraid to release people in our lives, but when we hold on to people that should be released, we block our blessings. Because
Mm.
some blessings will not show up in your life until you release some people. God will hold
Right.
your blessings until you
Right.
release some people.
Hey, Kendra. Kendra said, phew. And
And we
Miss
want
Karen said, amen.
Yeah, we want to pull people along. We want to pull them along, but there's three kind of people in our lives. People coming into our lives for a reason. It comes to teach us
Mhm.
something, for a
Mhm.
season, and for a lifetime. And the trouble comes when we try to take season and reason people into a lifetime experience. It's not going to work.
Not gonna work.
Mm-mm.
Wow. Whew. My lamb. My lamb. I love it. Oh wow. I love that. I love that. And that, yeah. We just left chapter 3, about how old would you be if you didn't know how old you were. Now chapter 4, listen here. Chapter 4 has kept me from some things. You hear me? That fear, that false evidence appearing real in the past, kept me from some stuff in the past. Um, One of the things I did highlight, it says fear will keep you playing it safe. My.
Yes, yes. And fear will keep you from the life that you're praying for.
Wow.
We're asking God for greater. We're asking God for more. We're asking God to enlarge our territory, for us to dominate. But when He starts to move some things around,
Mm-hmm.
then we stop.
Yeah.
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 I was fear had me stuck most of my life.
Mm.
And then the
Wow.
pandemic hit and some stuff just fell off.
Whew, didn't it though?
Yes, yes. And I will say this to somebody on here, your comfortable place is your coffin.
Mm, wow.
Your safe place is sabotaging you.
Wow.
You knew a long time ago you should have left that career. You knew a long time ago you should have left that job. You knew a long time ago you had outgrown that relationship. And because it's comfortable, you are now compromising and settling.
Mm, wow. Wow. My goodness. That's good. Whew, that's fear. Listen, this is what made me cry in this chapter, in this fourth chapter. When it said, don't allow fear to make you settle for the good thing when you can have the God thing. Child, it was an intermission of tears. I was like, she didn't have to do me like this. I had to get up and look out. I forgot to bring my tissue. When you purchase this book, when? Because you gotta get it. Put the box of Kleenex right beside you, please. And thank you because you're welcome. You will thank me. Because me and my little snotty nose self had to get up and go to the bathroom and get me some tissue because when it said that, it just took me back to all the moments that I settled for the good thing when I could have really had the God thing. Please, 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 please explain that, lady. Please.
Life is about growth. When I think about a plant, because I see a sermon or a message in everything. When I think about a flower, and you love plants, right? And so
I do.
you're growing this plant. It's a small plant, and then after a while, the plant is growing, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so as the plant grow, you have a decision to make. You're gonna leave it in that pot and stun its growth, and eventually it's gonna die off, or you're going to repot it in a larger plant or a larger pot so it can continue to grow. And that's how we are. That's how we
Mm-hmm.
are in life. We need to be growing and glowing through life, not just going through life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Love it. Love it. Love it. We need to be growing and glowing through life, not just going through life. And that is the thing. When you don't have the counseling, the teaching, someone to really guide you, the knowledge, and the wisdom that's being poured, you don't have anyone pouring into you. That's how life is supposed to be, that you're supposed to be poured into because you're supposed to be growing and glowing through life. And now I love the fact that even when God says no, it's okay because there is a lesson within that no. You get what I'm saying? It's like, what is he saying and why is he saying no? I mean, it's a great thing that he's saying it. It's a good thing that he's when he says yes, but it's a great thing sometimes when he says no. So that in itself, yes, I love that. I love it. Thank you.
And there are no no's. No simply means next opportunity.
Okay then. I love it. So we did expound on this a little. Chapter 5. That went deep, and that will go deep for a lot of us. Every one of us can look at this, each one of these chapters, and just relate. Um, Give up people to glow up. People can be your greatest asset or your greatest liability. Come on, Miss
And that,
Sandra, tell us.
and that includes your family. Listen,
Um,
that includes your family. We have to learn how to love people from a distance. If
mm-hmm.
and it's okay if you choose something different. You
Yeah.
know, it's okay if you don't want to be, you don't like what you see in your family and you choose to become something different. And a lot of times when we are trying to be different and we're trying to evolve. We want people to come alongside us and we want people to cheer for us and celebrate us, and it's not going to happen. I'm not happy for you because I'm not happy for me.
Whew,
So
my God.
we break our own hearts with expectations.
Hmm.
Just because they're family doesn't mean they're for you.
Wow. Amen to that. Amen to that. Yeah. And I feel like for me, because I'm such a person that I love family, but I also learned as an adult, family can be toxic. And what you grew up with could be toxic and what you thought how family was supposed to be. But when you begin to heal and understand and know that a lot of that wasn't wisdom, it was verbal bullying, it was side shots, it was picking, it was, you know what I'm saying, verbal abuse. When you understand and know that stuff was not natural and it wasn't what's supposed to be now, you know, that I'm an adult and you may be a senior citizen, you can't talk to me like you used to. I'm not gonna put up with that. I'm not gonna put up with that mouth that I put up with when I was 19 or I was 15, you know, and you were this age. No, I'm not. I'm not dealing with that anymore. And I don't have to talk to you. I can love you. I can still love you, but I don't have to say another word to you again in life. But I can disconnect from you and wish you the very best as my family member. And love that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just grateful to God that I'm healed to know that it's okay, honey, when you gotta cut off family. Pam said abuse, period. Right. It is, Pam. It is abuse, Pam. It really is. And a lot of people, especially in my, they like, that's your elder. You supposed to respect. I tell my children, and I have always told my children, even when they were young kids, if an adult talks to you in a way that I don't even talk to you, let me know because I'm gonna check them. Because you're not finna abuse my child just because they're a child, not with your mouth. You know what I'm saying? So I never wanted my kids to be okay with getting verbally abused by people because they're hurt. I can't be happy for you because there's something going on with me and I don't want to face that. So I'm going to lash out to everybody around me, you know. And I love that. I love that you expounded on this. And I love that one particular thing, it says if we're going to glow or go up, we're going to have to say goodbye to some people.
And be okay with it.
Yeah.
And and be okay with this goodbyes, because the reality of it is we are many different people on this journey. We are evolving. The 20-year-old Sandra knew nothing about life. The 30-year-old Sandra was trying to figure some things out. 40-year-old Sandra was still, and so we are many different people on this journey. We cannot feel guilty when we outgrow people. At
Mm-hmm.
every bus stop, somebody gets off. The bus is not just stopping at stops. And so at every bus stop of life, somebody has to get off.
Say that again.
At every bus stop of life, somebody has to get off.
Wow. I love that. I love that. And it doesn't have to be an angry disconnect or a toxic disconnect. And I love when you expounded that it's not the fact that they're bad people. It's just that it's time for them to get off at that stop, right?
Right, absolutely. When I made a decision to walk away from my job after 10 years, that was a scary thing for me because that was my family, that was my safe place, that's what I knew. But literally, I had outgrown the environment and God was dealing with me. And we delay our blessings because what happens is when we overstay the assignment, when we overstay people in our lives, what was once a blessing now becomes a curse.
Hmm. And I love when you said earlier, um, And even in this chapter, you said problems occur when we try to make reason and season people lifetime people. We try to hold on because we don't want to be looked at as disloyal or unloving when it has nothing to do with you disliking or not loving the individual. It has to do, I feel, what I got out of it was growth. Your growth, and maybe they haven't grown, or maybe they're growing in a different direction, and you're just not life. I call it life compatibility. You're not compatible with life, and it's like you don't want to fight and take your peace away just to be connected to someone.
No, connected to someone that you should have disconnected with. And you delay your blessings, because I understand that certain people, I did not start getting blessed until certain people left my life, because they would have benefited from the blessing.
Come on here, my God, my God.
So whoever on here tonight holding on to these people and praying, asking God to bless, he said release, and then the blessing will flow.
Oh my. Whoever y'all heard that, whoever listens to the replay, take that. If that's yours, take it in and put it in your pocket and walk with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My personal experience was trying to stay in a marriage, trying to stay in that marriage, and this person did not want me to open my business. He did not like me being a massage therapist. He voiced it a lot. He voiced it daily. And when you met me, you knew, you asked my dreams and passions and what did I want. And I think that's so cool. You want to own a business. You want to own your own business. You want to do that. That's amazing. But when you get into the point where you didn't want it for me, whatever reason, because you didn't see yourself, wherever, what have you. I can't speak for them, but I knew the fight. It was just a fight. And I would try to, manifest that with still being with this individual. And it never manifested. No matter, everything would just get shot down, shot down, shot down, shot down, whether it be the fall through or didn't have the financing or what have you. The building was already taken. Everything that I wanted to manifest. And I'm like, God, I am serving you. I don't get it. I don't understand. And I went on a fast. I went on like a fast because I was doing a 9 to 5. And I went on a fast and I was like, I want to get out this 9 to 5, God. You told me I was going to own my business. I said, whatever, I'm going on this fast, and whatever's in my life that's blocking me from my blessing that you promised me, take it away. 30 days. It was 30 days. 33 days later, I was separated. 33 days later, I was separated. That was in February of 19. No, that wasn't. That was in February of 18. December of 19, my business manifested. I had no idea that I was fasting, asking God to remove things out of my life. And it was the very person that I was beside every night. Well, not, that was in the same house with me every night. I'm like, what? So you don't realize. You don't. I was like, wow, how can I even be mad? Because I was like, God, show me what's blocking you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of us have slept with the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah, slept with the enemy. We sleeping with the enemy, per se.
Yeah.
And your home should be your peaceful place. But again, sometimes when we miss God, or people have served their purpose, then they have to go. They have to go
Right.
so you can grow.
Yeah. And I wouldn't have, and I look at it now, and I would not have grown if I would have still been there. And my business would have never manifested, because it's crazy, because single and by myself, I do things scared. I do it even with the fear and the lump in my throat and the beating in my chest. I go ahead and do it anyway. I said, well, let's see how this goes, because look, If it's for me, God is just going to make it happen, regardless of how I feel. It doesn't matter. And I've been that way. But it was just like when I'm in, you know what I'm saying? When I was in relationships, I would more so try to lean on the individual, thinking, okay, you're supposed to lead, you're supposed to do this. But God, like, no, let me, you know what I'm saying? God's like, you need to let me lead. You need to let me lead. And I had to, you know.
Happened with me also. I had paid a publisher um in 2019 because in my mind I was going to write a book, you know.
Hmm.
But I had never written a book before. It had been prophesied that I would write many books. You know, I received it, but I didn't know what she was talking about. I just said, okay. And this is many years earlier. And I was in a relationship at the time when I paid the publisher and I didn't do anything with it for well over a year because I
Wow.
was in this toxic relationship and he was so needy, right? And so when I went and told him that I had paid a publisher and I was going to write a book, instead of him being excited for me, he got upset. And I was like, wait a minute, wait, this not how it's supposed to be. And so the entire time I was in that relationship, because it was so draining, I never was able to focus on what I needed to focus on. And so
Wow.
119 was my 911, and I talked about it in the book. God said,
Yes.
release, you know, January of 2020, 119 was my 911. God said, release him. And September of that same year, I birthed to hell and back the power of forgiveness and redemption.
Hmm.
So I
Wow.
know about having wrong people in your life and releasing people.
Right. Right. Yeah. I love that. I love that. That's amazing. I love it. Whew. Okay. We on to chapter 6. Listen here. Talk about that past. Tell us about that, what that past will do for us.
We have to revisit our past, but don't reside there. And too
Mm.
many of us live there.
Mm.
You
Mm.
know, when you go to the doctor always asks you your medical history, your family history, your immediate family history, because there could be a potential for some issues, right? So it's a point of reference. Well, the past is the same thing. It's a point of reference. That's why
Yeah.
it's important to do the work. I had to go back and deal with my past because I had trauma growing up. I had rejection issue growing up. I had low self-esteem and low self-worth growing up. I didn't believe I deserved to be happy. I didn't know what that looked like. Because at the end of the day, free counseling, we live what we learn until we unlearn what we live.
Mm. Mm.
We recycle our experiences based on our childhood until we unlearn it.
Yes.
Yes.
Love it. I love that.
And what the past will do, it will rob you of your future. It will rob you of your joy. It will rob you from the life that you're praying for. Because
Mm.
what happens is if when you had toxicity in your relationships or in your home and you're
Mm-hmm.
praying for this person and this person shows up, you don't know how to appreciate that person because you don't think
Ooh.
you even deserve him or her.
Right. And I think that goes back to when you said that when you trying to remember exactly how you said it, but it's like a reflection of you. Like when you're choosing someone unhealed, and then you begin to go on your healing journey, but they may not. She may not want to go on her healing journey when he does, and vice versa. And when you're healed, you do not see people the same. You just do not see people the same. And amazingly, I talked to this gentleman, and he was going through something, and he was on his healing journey. And he told me, he said, for years I would take her back, take her back, take her back. He said, but now she's not even attracted to me anymore. Her voice is annoying. He just started saying things. He said, but do I want to hurt her? Do I want her to, something to happen to her? Do I want, I want her to prosper, but not with me. And I was just like, wow, that's amazing. He was like, I just don't see her the same. I just don't. I don't see her the same. It's not the same person. I just want her to go over there and I want to be over here in my place. And I'm like, I was looking at him. I was like, do you realize that you are so far in your healing process, that because this is so good for you to tell me, like, you kept taking this person back, you knowing they were going to hurt you again, and you still took them back, but now you wish them the best, but you're not even physically attracted or emotionally attached or anything. Like, that's healing in itself. And I was like, that is what we should aspire for, to want to detach from the toxicity and whatever doesn't serve us, whether it's a job, whether it's a person, whether it's family, whether it's a relationship, anything, and still want them or it to do well.
Right,
What do you think
absolutely.
about it?
I absolutely agree with that. And I even wrote in the book where I talked about how, because I didn't know what healthy relationship looked like, because
Mm-hmm.
of my experience with my parents, my father being abusive and bipolar, is that I was choosing men that was just like my father.
Mm-hmm.
And God gave me an epiphany, and He said, my child, He said, I never intended for you to be an active participant in your own suffering.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted you to give me your ashes so I could make something beautiful out of it.
Wow.
And that's in the book. And that, when I wrote that, the tears truly flowed because I was an active participant in my own suffering.
Yeah. 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 A lot of us are. And I feel as though once I realized where I was an active participant in mine, and that was another one of the things that made me cry. um, I said, some of this is me. Like the common, you know what I'm saying? When you choose to stay, when you choose to give, when you choose to give your cast your pearls to the swine, when you choose to love someone, and I feel like as though I do understand some people love people how they want to be loved, but some of these people don't deserve that. So, and then that becomes our fault when we continue to do something that's not being reciprocated, or when we continue to work on a job and constantly give our best of our best of our best, and we're going to get looked over for the promotion. We're not going to get it. They're not going to choose us. And God is saying, leave the job. Like He told you, after 10 years, you said you could do the job with your eyes closed. And you're comfortable there. And then you become the reason for your pain. How do you feel about that? And what would you say to someone that's at that point, that they're hearing God, they're feeling the push, but for some reason they just can't let go?
The blessing is in the unfamiliar. There are no, in this season, God told me that there will be no blessings in the familiar.
Mm-hmm.
That you're going to have to, we're in a season in life now where we're going to have to trust God for real, if we say we are His, because He's answering prayers
Yeah.
with obedience. And
Yeah.
we gotta believe God enough, that because all the silver and gold belongs to Him. You understand? Cattle upon 1,000 hills belong to God. And if God is telling you to leave a thing, He only wants better for you. God
Yeah.
wants to do it big for the person. I promise you, I was the safest person. And if I can do it, if I can do it, you can do it. I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
I told my supervisor because she was so distraught. She was angry. She took it personal when I made a decision to leave. And we had a Zoom farewell because it was still a pandemic. I said, you think that my leaving is personal? I said, but it's spiritual. I said, I refuse to die here. I
Yeah.
refuse to die with the gifts and the talents that God has birthed inside of me to help other people and to deliver other people. I refuse to die pregnant.
Mm.
I have to go.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. The graveyard is the most wealthiest place, isn't it?
The graveyard, and I'm going to add prison.
Wow.
Yes, I'm going to
Mm.
add prison. I don't ever want to be one of these people that's sitting on the porch in my latter years and regret the fact that I didn't do a thing. I would rather try and fail than never try.
Mm. I agree. Wow. I would rather try and fail than never try. The only thing that beats a failure is a try. That's it. I love it.
And I just want
Let
to add this because I think sometimes when we talk about healing and journey, I want people to understand that not everybody desires to be healed. They benefit from their brokenness because it gives them an excuse to stay mediocre.
Mhm.
Because along with healing come responsibility, and some people don't want responsibility. So I'm gonna stay pitiful because it gives me an excuse to not produce.
Wow. 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 I'm speechless right now. It is a lot of responsibility when it comes healing because when you start the healing journey, it's peeling layers off. You know, you got to dive deep because some of the healing you have to heal starts at childhood. You start trying to heal as an adult, honey. Oh, trust me, that's not the first. That's not the first layer. Like you have deeper layers, and it is a responsibility. And you're gonna have triggers, and you're gonna have moments that you have to be quiet when you want to say something, but you are uh birthing through your healing a new person. And there were so many times that I wanted to say stuff to people, but God was like, don't say anything. Allow me to fight your battle. There was moments I said stuff when I wasn't yet healed that I regretted saying once I became healed. You know what I'm saying? I
Oh
want
yeah,
I said out, gosh, I wish I wouldn't have even entertained that. Because it wasn't that serious because God already had it. He already had it. It was already done. God had already fixed it and had already manifested the blessed place for me, the peaceful place for me. All I had to do was be quiet and be in pain by myself. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to take the pain and be quiet. You can't moan. You can't say anything. You can't war. Let God do that. So yeah, that was a regret for me during my healing. Is sometimes I feel like I said a little too much, and it was only because it made me feel better to talk about certain things. But of course, people will come in and they'll take your vulnerable place and they'll use it against you and twist what you say, how you feel, and then it'll be, you know what I'm saying? So that's something that I did realize with healing. The quieter you are, to me, the quicker God comes through and the quicker that you see him moving. Like you see it for what it is. So yeah. So yeah. So I want you to leave us with some nuggets. Minister to us. We have a few moments. So minister to us for just a few moments. Um Not telling what's in the book because and after you do that, I want you to tell everyone how they can go purchase the book, and when we're done, come back on this and comment your website and whatnot. But give us an encouraging word, a moment to give up to glow. So those
sure.
that want it.
Yeah. So I'm super excited. I saw this because the comparison thing is what keeps us stuck a lot of times. All of those things I talked about, but especially the comparison, right? And so when I made a decision to write my book, of course the enemy is telling you, you know, there's 9 million people that release books every year, and I said, yeah, but they don't have my book and they don't have my anointing, right? They don't have my experiences, and so that's for somebody. They don't have your experiences, and they don't have your anointing.
Right.
My mom and I went to look at furniture, and Value City, Rooms to Go, and Ashley Furniture were right beside each other. They all
Mm-hmm.
sold furniture,
Right.
but based on the client and based on what they desired, they chose where they wanted to purchase furniture from.
Mm.
Ashley Furniture, Rooms to Go, or Value City was not fearful to birth their business. They weren't fearful of what the other one was doing because they understood that their client will find them, that they would they had a solution to somebody's problem, and based on their sound, their clientele will locate them. And so
Right.
that's why you got to stop comparing yourself to other people and worry about who's doing this and who's doing that and get started, because number one, delayed obedience is disobedience. Number two,
Yeah.
there's blessing in your yes. Number
Mm-hmm.
three, you have a sound that solves somebody else's problem. And number
Yeah.
four, you are holding up somebody else's deliverance. Your
Right.
refusal to birth the thing that God's telling you to birth puts blood on your hands. And you don't want blood on your hands. And
No.
so I say on tonight, if you are at that point in your life where you want to do some introspection, some inventory, and really ready to glow up in this season, this really is the book for you. Everything that I wrote about in this book, I lived it and I applied it to my life. I promise you, you will not. It's not a payment. It's an investment. It's an investment in you, and
Right.
you owe it to yourself to glow up. You've supported everybody else. You've been there for everybody else. When are you going to show up for you?
Wow.
That's the
Wow.
question. You deserve to show up for you. You deserve to celebrate you. You deserve to have the things that you desire. But it starts with you.
Yeah. 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 Hmm. I love that. Wow. It starts with us. Woo. Okay. Tell us. We talked about it. We went through the 6 chapters. We read the bio. Listen here. Tell us how we can get this amazing piece of
I
creativity. Tell us.
listen, I have the goods in my hand. All you
Oh,
have to do, all you have to do is go to dealinghopenotdope.com. Dealinghopenotdope.com. And if you are local, you can inbox me. But dealinghopenotdope.com and get this book. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. You will not feel as if you've lost anything. You will gain so much. You will have gained so much just by reading this book and implementing the things that I discuss.
right,
I want, I'm a hope dealer. I'm wounded healer. I like to see people well in their emotions because too many of us suffer unnecessarily.
right. I
So
just put
yeah,
it up there. Yeah, I just put it up there and pinned that comment. DylanHopeNotDope.com. Yes, and inbox Sandra Gamble if you are local. If you are in the what areas are you
some
willing?
yeah, Sumter, Florence, Hartsville, Darlington, those surrounding areas, Columbia, Camden. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Y'all heard it. You can get the book in your hand as early as tomorrow, about a weekend. Come on here. And tell a
Yes.
friend and tell a friend and tell a friend, because this book will absolutely bless you. It will bless you. It really and true. And look, y'all, it's not a big read. It is powerful. Powerful things come in small packages too. Uh, you listen. You can read this in 30 minutes, and then go back the next day and read it again and get something different, and then go back the next week and get something else out of it. I'm telling you, I'm going to continually read this because it speaks volumes on fear, on people, on things, on just so much on your past. Just giving up things so you will not hinder what God has for you. Thank you so much, Sandra. I appreciate you. I appreciate you giving us your time, your wisdom, sharing us with your gifting, your author. Guys, she also does counseling, conversation and coffee. Is that what it is? Or coffee and conversation?
Coffee shop talk.
Coffee shop talk. Okay, coffee shop talk. I'm sorry. I knew it was something. I was close, y'all.
Yes.
So inbox her. Look, if you want to invest in a counselor, in which sometimes it is pretty much needed. Look, she takes you to the coffee shop. It ain't about laying on the couch. I mean, but it's the same sense of it. And she puts you in an environment. She is a very, very anointed, blessed, loving, unchanging. When I tell you girl don't change, she remains the same. She's solid as a rock. So I love her. I'm very blessed to be connected with her. And listen, you guys, thank you for tuning in on tonight. Don't let anyone steal your joy. Don't let anyone take your hope, because we had the hope dealer herself is on. And don't allow anyone to deter you from your purpose. We are an imperfect people serving a perfect God who has a perfect purpose for us. So stay on the pathway to your purpose. Y'all have an amazing night. Thank you. Thank you, Sandra. Y'all
Thank
have a
you.
good one.